Hey, everybody, welcome to Love Relo, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross. I'm so blessed and honored to be here with my good friend, Bryan Rivers, the relocation banking program manager from First Tech Federal Credit Union. What's going on, Bryan? How you doing?
I'm good, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to stick the landing on that intro, man. I'll be honest with you, man. That was a mouthful. I'm so happy to have you here. Honestly, everybody out there watching, whenever I find myself on the West Coast, which is unfortunately rarer these days, but I always love hanging out with Bryan and chopping it up. And maybe when FEM comes to Dallas, we always hang out and stuff. And Bryan, you're just one of my favorite people to kick it with in the real business.
Yeah, no, we've had a few good times, a few late nights, and I look forward to more in the future.
Yeah, and if you like Bryan, get in the comments, hit that like button. If you don't, you should probably, reevaluate that opinion. Get in here. We got Drew Phillips checking in. Oh yeah, baby. I put a little Austin Powers on that. Yeah, baby. There we go. Vinny Valverde checking in. Heck yeah. You listed a lot of yes from people. You notice that?
I'm going to note that down. I didn't really notice that, but those are two really good guys right there. Both Vinny and Drew, good friends of mine in this space, and enjoy working with them and seeing them as well.
Look at that. Matt Estridge checking in here. Adrian Grimes checking in. Vinny, come on, Ben. West Coast is the best coast. I hear that. I hear that. Mike Falia checking in. My dude. Look at
Love
that.
Mike. Mike's a
Awesome.
good guy.
Football dad. Yeah, what does Mike mean by football dad?
Um, well, we're in a mobility we're in a mobility league. That's what I thought he was going, but many stories with me and both my kids right now going through sports. I think is what he was referring to. Mike, obviously, if you know Mike, he's had a lot of success with his children,
Guy's a factory.
men now going through baseball and all that kind of good stuff. So he's I think living vicariously through me right now in the high school realm with both my boys and football. So always
Yeah.
get to update Mike. He's always curious and another good guy out here.
I feel like Mike Falia should have a stud fee. Like that guy just pumps out champions, doesn't he? Good for you, Mike. Let's see here. Drew Phillips, Daisy Sinclair. Ben has awesome things to say about you. Excited to hear from you today. What's up, Michael James checking in. NorCal, represent. NorCal. So where in the world are you, Bryan?
I'm right outside Sacramento, little town called Wheatland, California. We're famous for all the orchards for Blue Diamond are around us. So we're right in the east side of the Sacramento Valley, and yeah, that's where I call home.
So you have all those almond trees where you are.
They're right behind my house. There's a
They're
huge
beautiful, aren't
orchard.
they? They're like pink and white.
White, they get white and green. Not these ones aren't pink, but
Not
yeah,
pink.
that's miles and miles of orchards. Blue Diamond and Sunsweet are the two big producers out here.
Nice. They require a lot of water. Almond trees do.
They require a lot of water, and and there's big debate out here every year, historically, and always will be, I think, amongst water, um, between what the fish get and the rivers and the delta and the salmon and all that, and what these farmers get, who dictate a lot. Sacramento region is pretty prominent for providing a lot of the food around the nation and parts of the globe gets produced here. So water's a big ticket item.
Yeah, so you have some people that are like pro water and some people that are anti water and like we don't need water. The fish need water. I see you out there fishing too, Bryan.
Yeah, it's been a little while. They've shut it down for salmon, anyways, out here for the last couple of years, trying to sustain that population of fish. It's been hit pretty hard over the last few years, but I love doing that. That's part of I'd say one of the bigger parts of my life growing up, and what I like to do now with my kids, with my family. We do a lot of fishing, but yeah, the Feather River, part of the Sacramento, tribute to the Sacramento River, is right near me. I can be there in 15, 20 minutes. And on a good year, I'm out there quite a bit, even during the week, after I log off, or maybe even take a call or two from the boat. But it's been a couple years. Hopefully they get it back this year and I can get out there again.
Yeah, I would love to go fishing. Can I go fishing with you sometime, Bryan?
Absolutely, man. It'd be great.
Do I need like a is it, do I need a certain level of skill? Like I feel like you're a pretty serious fisherman.
No, no, no. In fact, there's been a few times over the course of the last couple of years where it might tie a fishing charter on the front end or the back end of some of these regional councils, or we're eyeballing some things. Me and a couple folks are eyeballing some things for Utah next year. Maybe get a group on a boat, maybe do a little excursion for trout for steelhead out in Utah. Uh, but no,
Like Salt Lake, like in the Great Salt Lake.
no, it'd be a tributary out there, like a river. Just started to look into it actually this morning. But Drew and Vinny, who chimed in earlier, they've been out on a boat with me before up in Oregon on the Willamette for salmon, and it's a good time. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it when I find the right people who enjoy that kind of stuff too. It's a lot of fun, just kind of bonding and getting to know each other. And some folks who maybe haven't done it before hook into their first sturgeon or their first king salmon, and they don't forget it. It's really cool.
Is it a big fight when you hook a salmon?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Because
Just
a
because they're
lot of
like
times
heavy
in the
fish, or
river,
because they're also like really strong too.
they're extremely strong. Some of these fish come in from the ocean. They travel upriver 300 miles. They're just one big muscle, and you're usually fishing for them with light tackle, so light lines, and yeah, it can put a hurting on you. It could take sometimes 15, 20 minutes to get one in.
Wow, very cool. What's the biggest fish you ever caught, Brian?
I would say marlin, striped marlin. I've got a couple of those out in Cabo, and then I sturgeon, a couple sturgeon over the years that can get to be 6, 7 feet long.
Wow, six,
Yeah,
seven
it's a lot
feet
of fun.
long. It's
Oh yeah.
crazy. Like if you brought a marlin in the boat. Sorry, everybody, we're going off in this fishing tangent. I'm sorry. If you hey to put in the comments if you go fishing, where you go fishing, what do you like to catch? Maybe if you want to brag about, tell fish stories about the biggest fish you ever caught. True or false, doesn't matter. We're not going to fact check you out there. Brian's the only one on the hot seat today. But if you bring a marlin like that into a boat, they got a spear on the front of them, right? I mean, is that dangerous? You ever get like stabbed by a spear or
No,
finned like crazy?
no. Usually they're taking care of that fish before they bring it on board, so they've
What does that
locked it
mean?
up.
Take care of it, like prepare it.
Well, depending on the boat, they'll gaff it. If you're keeping the fish, they'll gaff it, bleed it. Sometimes with some of those larger fish, they have small. This is gonna make people go the wrong way. They got small little shotguns on board to make sure that they are, dead and not a risk when you bring them on board. Because you're right, some of those fish, tuna, albacore, bluefin, they hit your leg, they'll snap it in half. So yeah, they have means if you're keeping and harvesting fish to make it safe before they bring them on board. But a lot of the times, there's a lot of fishermen out there that like to let it go and take a picture or just release it and put it back in to the ocean, or the river, the lake.
Sounds like an adventure. That's awesome. Vinny Valverde says it was awesome. Got home with the fish and grilled it. The freshest and tastiest fish ever. What's your favorite fish to eat that you catch, Brian?
I would have to say lingcod is probably my favorite. Lingcod or halibut,
What is lingcod?
whitefish. Yeah,
What is lingcod? What is it?
lingcod is a very aggressive fish that lives in huge rock piles out in the ocean. They're extremely very ugly fish, very like pit bulls of the sea. They're very tenacious and they're really good. You've probably had it before at restaurants. Some of your higher end restaurants, serve lingcod. It's probably a little bit more prominent out here for me, being on the West Coast. But yeah, they're a very aggressive, very ugly fish. If anyone wants to check it out, YouTube some video underwater footage
Yeah,
of
Samara, can we
lingcod.
get
They're
a can we get
aggressive.
a picture or video of lingcod?
L
Lingcod?
I N L-I-N-G lingcod.
Lingcod. Yeah,
You-
throw
Two words.
throw something in the comments there. We got super producer Samara working the tables back there. Rob Zeitz checking in from the East Coast. Yeah, we're definitely outnumbered, Rob. Mike Quigley checking in. Good to see you, buddy. Drew in there. Yep, look at that. That's awesome. People are enjoying the fish talk. I promise y'all, we're going to get to a little bit of relocation talk. We also got some of the best segments of all time. Bryan Rivers in this community here is known as probably one of the top fives of all time on Love and Relo. His Kevin Costner top five Kevin Costner movies was epic. It's so he's got a few of them for us. So we've actually got 3 top fives coming for you if we have time.
Man.
Maybe go to Home Depot, Bed Bath and Beyond. And then we also got a killer overrated, underrated as well. So you definitely want to stick around for that. Hit that like button. Get in the comments if you got questions, comments for Bryan. Bryan, I got to ask you. We got to pay the bills here real quick, and I got to ask you. Tell me about First Tech. Like, people may not know. I know people on the West Coast all know about First Tech Federal Credit Union, but what is a credit union doing in this space?
It's a good question. First Tech is a credit union, and so I'll start there because many folks don't know
what's the difference even.
A credit union is. Yeah, a credit union and a bank. If you were to compare the two, there's a lot of similarities and a couple of differences. I'd say first and foremost, a lot of the same products, a lot of the same kind of banking products, accounts, loans, all that kind of stuff. They're both, provide financial services. A credit union is not for profit. We have a volunteer board. So you become a member of a credit union. You have a share account here, and you have rights to vote on that board and kind of what we do as an institution, where we put our money, the way we reinvest it back into our membership base. You're going to typically find maybe a little bit more attractive rates at a credit union, whereas a bank is for profit. And
can I just share real quick though, Bryan?
Yeah.
Because I got my first 2 cars financed through a credit union in Florida, and I got much better rates than what I was being offered at the dealership, what I was being offered through other avenues. So I can vouch for that 100%. And I got really good service too. There was this guy there, like, he would check in with me, super nice guy. His name was Pat. I still remember him. Really nice guy. Vinny's in here, says First Tech, my bank of choice here in the Pacific Northwest. But actually, we should correct Vinny because it's not a bank. It's a credit,
it's a credit union. Yeah, so those are some of the differences and similarities as far as how kind of we got into this space. We started years ago as Hewlett Packard's credit union. That's kind of, and Tektronix credit union up in Oregon, and HP, and then we merged about 13 years ago, and immediately kind of became a bigger credit union in the United States. But our background and our employer partnerships that we have are really in and around all the, a lot of tech employers, starting with HP or Tektronix, but there's been a handful that we are the credit union of choice for, and it's growing. So years ago, Microsoft happens to be one of our partners, and they kind of approached us about a program to help some of their folks move into the Seattle area from abroad. And we didn't have anything. We kind of built it and piloted it with Microsoft for a few years anyways, and it kind of took off, and we, over the course of the last 20 years, opened it up. And so a lot of our, tech partners that have a global footprint and a need to bring folks into the U.S., what I do here is kind of manage a set of products that's kind of geared for those individuals to help them kind of land smoothly, financially speaking, get everything they need, build credit, bank accounts, and home loans if they need it, kind of a one-stop shop. So that's kind of how we came to be in this space.
It's so interesting to me, and I love talking to you about this. And shout out to Marcy over there. Says she likes fishing perch in Lake Erie. What's up, Marcy? Vinny over here running his First Tech commercial over here. Drew Phillips running his First Tech's, the one for inbounds, the first stop for inbounds. Drew's actually, I promise we'll get to Relo stuff. Drew's actually sending me pictures of this crazy fish that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Text me. I got a job to do. But it was interesting when I first talked to you about this concept, because I took for granted the fact that people come in over here who have a good job, who have good work history or making really high incomes, that they would just be able to go get a bank account and a credit card and buy a car. Like, why wouldn't you be able to do those things? Like, I think we take for granted credit and how it works and how important it is here in the States and how it doesn't just come out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. And I think the other thing to think about is go back to when you were 18 years old and what you had available to you from a credit standpoint. You could probably get a small little student visa or student, credit card or
Maybe like
a Macy's
$500 limit
card.
or something like that.
Yeah, but you're going to be paying an extremely high rate because you are risky. They've never heard of you before. So you're gonna start out with these high rates, and then over time you manage that correctly, and you get some more attractive stuff. And that's kind of how I think a lot of the folks coming into the U.S. are perceived, at least on paper. Even though they make quite a bit of money in most cases, they were having that issue. That's why Microsoft reached out back then. And kind of, I think more our differentiator now is being able to do this the way we do it to help these individuals. Because if you think about it from just the tangible, you get a decent rate on a credit card or we can get your bank account. What it really does is it's a service not only to them, but to their employer and to their new assignment. I mean, we all know what these folks are going through mentally when you're thinking about moving from one country to the next. Everything that goes along with that. It's stressful. It can be intimidating. It's a big chunk. And at least from the financial standpoint, to be able to kind of seamlessly get things going with decent rates, decent products to help you stay more productive those first couple weeks, those first couple months while everything's kind of settling in. I think it's a big win. It's a big peace of mind for them. So it's twofold. It helps them, yes, bottom line, but I think it helps them stay more productive as they kind of embark on something new with their employer.
It almost seems irresponsible, frankly, to bring somebody over and not provide this kind of service to them. And I'm not trying to just plug what you guys do, but it seems like a major gap in the whole process. I remember, I remember Jana, who worked with us for a long time, on my team, and she was talking about how, coming over from Brazil, like just getting a cell phone was impossible. And frankly, going back to Brazil, getting a cell phone was impossible for her, and you're so right about that. I mean, what do you recommend to corporations that they offer? Like, is there like a base package or like a core package of stuff, financial products that they need to offer that like you like the have to haves and like the nice to haves, maybe if you took a core flex approach to expat finance?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen some corporations get really involved and then some, take more of a step back. I think first and foremost, the most basic thing that is helpful for both them from payroll perspective, sometimes from an immigration standpoint, is to get a U.S. bank account, checking account open and available before you leave your home country, so that you have the ability to start wiring, transferring funds, providing those account numbers to payroll sometimes can help the process. So I think first and foremost, which is more uniform, is to get a checking account, opened up in the U.S. for these individuals, and to be able to do that before, a couple weeks, a couple months before they've left onto their new assignment.
They need to start this in advance, though. They can't wait till they show up here. They need to actually.
They can.
Why is that important to have it start 2 months in?
They can absolutely wait. I think when we let people know how we can help them before, it's always what people elect to do. So it just makes it seamless and being able to get that settled. So, when you land, you can go pick up your debit card. You can walk into one of our locations if you're near one and start grabbing US dollars, right away, day one. That's massive. Those first couple weeks, in my experience, when people don't have that ability, it's just a little more hairy. It's tougher and breeds a lot more chaos if you don't have that set up. So fortunately, we're able to do that for them. And when we throw that option out there, that's probably the most popular option, is to get the banking and all that kind of stuff set up before they've left. And again, I think peace of mind is the biggest piece there.
Yeah, really, really interesting. Because otherwise, they're coming over here with a debit card from another country. They're paying exchange fees, or they're still able to access funds, but also, are they getting paid in American dollars by their company here? And that's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah, most are, and that's why I kind of referenced the payroll piece to have this open before, so they can start putting any kind of deposits or deposits that the employer needs to make that first payment or what have you. That's why it's crucial. I think what happens, and I'm very close to a lot of the destination service providers out there, and kind of what we do. We partner with a lot of them, and I think what happens if they do land and they don't have that set up yet, they're now trying to get that set up day one, day two, day three, while they're doing all that other stuff. And this just allows, if they do open up prior, it allows them to be able to cross that off the list. They can spend those DSP hours doing something else, whether it's at the DMV, Social Security Administration, or looking for the area they're going to be moving to, school, stuff like that. So it's just something that's capable of being done beforehand. When I make that obvious and available to folks, and they do understand that, it's usually something they take advantage of to cross off the list.
That is a great point about the DSP hours, because normally with an assignment you're getting like, I don't know, 4 hours, 8 hours. You're getting a certain amount of hours with your DSP.
Yeah.
And if they're wasting that going to the bank, when you could just handle that for them,
Yep.
that really stretches the benefit.
Yeah, it's one of those things that can be done virtually. I can get that account open while they're still abroad, where it might be tougher to go to a Social Security office or the DMV. You know what I mean? So I think when I make people aware of that, both on the partner side, with whether it's destination services or some of the counselors I'm working with at RMCs, or I'm speaking directly to the transferees, my team is. That's usually what they elect to do once they're aware that we can do that.
How much do you normally charge to do that? Open up those bank accounts and establish the credit and all that stuff? Charge a lot?
No, we're not for profit, and our accounts are free. There's no minimum balance requirement, and there's no monthly fee. So this is a complete value add to the bottom end user, or to the partner we're working with, the corporate that we're working with. It's a value add. So there's no fee. I mean, obviously they take out a mortgage with us, or a car loan. They're going to have an interest rate, but there's no annual fees on our credit cards.
And
no
even those interest rates,
account.
as we talked about before, are better than what a lot of banks are offering. I know when I go to Chase or that's where my business is,
Yeah, and I mean, there's that with credit unions and banks in general. Our program, if a transferee is coming in through our program, through one of our approved employers, or one of our approved third-party folks like DSPs or RMCs, they get a huge crutch from a credit rate standpoint on credit cards, on their auto loan. They're not viewed as a first-time, at least on paper. We don't view them as a first-time, like we're lending to them for their first time. We give them kind of credit in a benefited rate for coming through our program that really helps them out, and helps them not get taken advantage of.
Yeah, so you kind of you look at their risk not as an individual who's got no credit history, but you kind of almost tie them to their organization they're coming from, and kind of vouch for them that way, and give them a more advantageous.
Yeah, there's a big investment being made to get them over here, and we lean into that from a common sense standpoint. Again, we've got to be partnered with their employer officially in the eyes of the NCUA.
Tell me about that, because I remember that you have these SEGs, right? And they have to be these employers. You talk about HP, you talk about Tektronix, whatever.
Yeah.
But then I'm also hearing you work with DSPs and stuff. Is that a way for relocation, the relocation industry to kind of access these benefits, even if maybe the company's not, their employer's not one of the SEGs, quote unquote?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So a SEG in the eyes of a credit union is a select employer group that we go formally partner with. And it's recognized in the eyes of the NCUA. That's the governing body in the U.S. for credit unions, kind of like FDIC is for banks.
National Credit Union Association.
Yeah, exactly. Administration. Yeah. So, we historically we've always partnered with corporate folks and entities. That's what we've always done up until a few years ago. where we kind of pivoted a little bit. And what we were doing, Ben, because you understand the acronym SEG, I know we've talked about it before, but we started making and opening it up for DSPs, RMCs to become select employer groups of First Tech. So that was something we really didn't do in the past, but trying to cast a bigger net, and kind of, you hit it on the head. If we were working with, I don't know, a DSP on a particular employer, that DSP would, bring someone else through our door and say, hey, well, can you help them now with this too? And we had to say, no, sorry, we can't, because they don't work for so-and-so.
Right.
So to circumvent that, or work with that, we went this route. And like I said, it's been a couple years running now, and we have some really nice partnerships that I'm proud of. But yeah, it's opened up for both. But there does need to be a formal agreement there, and it's not a contract or anything like that, but it's just formally recognized in the eyes of the NCUA.
Yeah, Drew Phillips saying it's seriously such a huge value. Sadly, it's so overlooked oftentimes. I see Hosea Botley checking in. What's up, Bot? How's it going, buddy? Vinny saying it's definitely important for expats to start building their U.S. credit history as soon as possible. This will help with rent, car loan, mortgage, and it takes time to build. What is it about the time factor there? Like, kind of talking about time. Why does it take time to build that, even if you're kind of being...
I think what everyone from the banking or credit union space is going to say, it's risk. We have the insight with this specific line of business in the mobility realm to kind of understand, I think, a little bit more about what these people, how much they make, and what their job title is, and stuff like that. But your average person building credit from zero, from nothing, it takes time, because the creditors want to see history of good payments. They want to see history of on-time payments. If you have 14 years and never been late on a car loan or a home loan, you're going to see the benefits in a higher FICO score, which ultimately gets you better rates. But like I mentioned earlier, someone coming into this credit world, say someone brought up here in the U.S. that turned 18, they could be no one knows what they do. Or you extend them some credit right out the gate, you kind of see how they manage it. Do they max that thing up over limit, within a month or two? Been there, done that, or not, So there's all kinds of different measurements there, but I think time is the biggest one, because it gives the creditors and the underwriters a better visibility of what you're all about,
Yeah, I remember that when I look at my credit history and payment history, it usually goes back, I think, like maybe 60 months or something like that, like 5 years. And then you have like pesky cell phone bill where the auto pay lapsed because you changed credit cards and you forgot to update it or whatever. And it's like, waiting for that thing to roll off, But,
yeah, and that's kind of what I mentioned earlier about, when a transferee from, abroad, comes into the U.S. and they want, to take advantage of a home loan or an auto loan, and you don't have a program like ours. I'm not saying there's other institutions out there that can't provide some type of assistance and help, but it is tougher. You may not get the limits that you want on an auto loan. You may not be able to go so high. You may have to put more money down.
What kind of credit card like can people get, like, coming in, like if they're part of a SAG or maybe part of an RMC or something like that? I mean, how much of a limit I'm always thinking about how big a party can I throw? Like, how big of a limit are we talking about?
Yeah, we can go up to $25,000 as far as limits go on a credit card. We usually try and put a package together to really help them build the U.S. credit profile. So as much as we offer the credit card, we have a couple other products from a consumer lending standpoint to help them out, whether it's personal loan or personal line of credit. And if they take all three of those, as long as they don't exceed 25K, you could have a $15,000 credit card, a $5,000 personal loan, and a $5,000 line of credit. We give them that opportunity to open those three things up, because now you're talking about building credit. Now you're managing three different accounts, maybe throwing the auto loan as well. Now you have 4 accounts that are reporting to the 3 major bureaus here in the U.S. right away. You manage those correctly over the course of, 10 months, 12 months. You could have a credit score. Above 700 at that time with these tools.
They come over with a credit score of what?
0. They don't have
0?
any credit.
And they can get to 700
they don't have credit
in like
yet.
10 months?
I've seen it happen in as early as 8 months, but you got to be managing it correctly, which most do. If you're late, you're not going to have that kind of success. If you have a 30-day late or you go over limit or stuff like that. But most of these individuals that we're working through for our program take advantage of this tool. They use it responsibly, and then they do have a robust credit score. Within as little as 10 months, 8 months in some cases, 12 months, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Hit that like button, y'all. Get in the comments. I want to know what your thoughts are. You got a lot of fans out there, Bryan. Did you know so many people liked you?
I see Drew chiming in quite a bit, and I like Drew a lot. I'm actually going to see Drew next week. They're hosting a forum down in Las Vegas for Relo Direct. And
you're going to that? I heard that's a banger. That's on my Relo bucket list. That's probably one of my top 5 things I've never done in relocation.
Been there a couple years ago with him. It's a great time, great education, and I'll see him. So I'm excited to know that's upcoming next week. Be down there for a few days. But a lot of us just came off the BAM conference last week and saw a lot of these individuals. Jose I saw there, and Vinny, and a lot of other folks out there. MJ, Michael James out there. We spent a few days out there. Great conference. Had a lot of fun. Little wet. Went through a big old storm in San Francisco, but it was a good time.
And speaking of conferences and stuff, you're on the board of a couple of regional relocation councils, aren't you?
Yeah, Portland and Seattle. That's kind of, even though I'm in Sacramento, I'd say, where I spend a lot of my time is up there in those 2 regions. So yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be on a couple really good boards up in that area, and it's a good time. It's a lot of fun with a lot of good people.
You guys doing an event this year?
Oh yeah, we're doing actually the 2 boards, Seattle and Portland, are kind of combining and doing a bigger banger type thing later on in the summer. No, it's not. I don't know if we've actually landed on a name yet. We were kind of going over this a few weeks ago when we all met up, of what we want to call this summit. But it's basically going to be a joint conference with both of those councils. It'll be the first time we're doing it. It's going to happen in Portland this year. And then every other year it'll kind of rotate, assuming we continue to do it. But yeah, this year it'll be in Portland, and we're going to try and bring everyone down from Seattle, and it'll be a pretty big event.
Yeah, I love the Portland events. Always have a great time out there with the friends in Portland. Shout out to Vinny, and Deb was out there, and just a bunch of folks that are out there. It's always a good time. Really, really enjoy it. I've never been to a Puget Sound Relocation Council meeting. That's another one I've never been to. Get in the comments here. I want to hear your thoughts. Ask your questions. What were you saying, Bryan?
Might make sense for you to come to that summit. It might be worth it for you to get out there, maybe host a show out there. But might be good for you to.
There's the invite. I go to my mailbox every day. I unlock it real slowly, like dramatically, because I'm trying not to get excited. I open it up. I'm looking for the golden ticket. And then maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Well, you're a big deal, So I don't, your schedule and all your parameters and all your.
Yeah. Do I fly first? Yeah, I fly first class. I mean, is my T&E a little? Yeah. Is it much? Yeah, sometimes it's much, but you got to look at the value,
Yeah.
Maybe I can get those nifty credit cards from First Tech. Maybe that would do it. Vinny says they're going to decide at the coming board meeting in 1 hour. Is that the title of it? What it's going to be called, Vinny, or the date, or what?
No. We actually have a board meeting for PRC right when I get off this call with you. It's our monthly meeting, and we're going to finalize the name for the summit.
Vinny's hitting me up for sponsorships. Vin, that's not what I was. I'm more of like a quid pro quo, an intern in-kind donation. Can we do something like that? Hey, we got an actual genuine question here. Let's get in the comments if you got questions for Bryan, because we're about to get into all these segments. So get in here and let us know. Drew says Ben is a member of the PSRC board. You are cordially invited to any and all events. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you, man. Tamara says, do you help transferees move their wealth / money over to the U.S. and limit the impact in the conversion? Do you do money laundering?
No, it's a great question, and it happens and comes up more times than not. But yes, we do, Tamara, and we have a investment division of First Tech, our broker dealers Raymond James, to help with all of that stuff. So we have our own advisors. We're fiduciary, and we will basically intake that initially, help them with everything they need from a nuts and bolts standpoint, with all their normal banking and transactional stuff that they need to do. Typically, what we see is 90 days to 6 months later, they do want to have conversations about bringing some of that other stuff over, which we're obviously very happy to help with. But to answer your question, we do it well, and we can do it all the time. So we have that within First Tech, and like I said, it's kind of a one-stop shop from everything
That's
you need,
really
from
interesting.
investment banking. Yeah.
Tamara, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. But as I think about how well the U.S. dollar's been performing compared to other currencies, the thoughts that somebody coming over here might want to convert some of their wealth into U.S. dollars and let it grow in the U.S. versus in another currency. I wonder if there's a strategy there, and if you see that in high demand, or if it's just kind of an afterthought, frankly. That might be for you, Bryan, or Tamara. It'll take her a while. But do you see that as do a lot of folks do that, or is that like maybe 10%?
I think it depends on what their plans are in some cases, if they're permanently moving over here. But yeah, we see a lot of those individuals that definitely take advantage of the consultation and that wing of First Tech, which is actually called Addison Avenue Investment Services through Raymond James. But yeah, it's I see it often, and I'm fortunate enough to see, we have kind of this program's niche-y, and we see a lot of very high volume and high dollar type individuals that work for some of these organizations that we were lucky to get, to work with, and they take advantage of that, and it's well received.
Hit that like button, get in the comments here. We're about to have some fun. Bryan, we've talked about Relo enough. You want to have a little fun?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I make everybody wait till the end to do these segments. With you, I'm coming in a little early here because I think it's just such rich content here. We've got some top fives here. Bryan, no need to study here. We're going to bring them up on the screen. We've got a producer, Samara, on the payroll here. She's phenomenal, and she's going to bring some of these things up. We've got a couple. Where to begin? Let's just hop right into it. We got some top fives. We're going to count these down from 5 to 1. Okay, so we say the best for last kind of thing. You got some good stuff here. We're just going to get into it, y'all. Get in the comments. Let us know what you think of these top fives. There was some controversy the last time that we did this with the Kevin Costner movies. I actually got a call from Kevin and the late James Earl Jones, and we talked through some things after that last one we did. But
yeah, I made some people mad with that one.
Yeah, rest in peace, James. Let's get into it. Top 5 men's colognes from the 90s. Top 5 men's colognes from the 90s. Number 5. Sorry. Number 5. There it is.
So yeah, Drakkar is how I don't know if they pronounce it Nor. I'm guessing Drakkar Nor. I remember that being very popular. I did not wear that, but I remember that being pretty popular back in the day.
Heavy. It's got a musk to it, right?
Yeah, I think it was pretty pungent. It was a formidable scent. Yes.
Yeah. Anybody out there wear that? I feel like I could see Mike Foley. I don't know why. I could just see him having like this. Yeah, Drew Phillips. Yeah, were you on that, Drew? I see this at Walmart still on the end cap when I go get my Old Spice.
Your Old Spice.
I always think about it, but I don't.
Yeah, Drakkar. I think that's worthy of number 5. It's pretty popular.
Now number 4 actually was popular in my house when I was a teenager. Me and my cousin would play around with number 4 here. So
Cool water. Yeah, I didn't use that one either, but I know a lot of people that did, and it was a hot commodity for a while. I had the little commercials in every magazine you opened. Cool water cologne.
Look, did I nail it or not? Do I know a man or do I know a man? Okay, Mike Foley wore Drakkar. Mike, how do we pronounce the second word in his cologne? Here, please help us out. This is great. People are getting in here. Let us know what we missed. Tell us what your favorite old school cologne from the 90s was? What were you slapping on prom night back in the day? Let us know. Um, Cool Water was a favorite of Snoop, though. So,
Really?
with some Cool Water cologne, fresh dressed like $1,000,000 through all my, yeah, and my Chucks, yeah.
I think,
Stepped out the house, looked back. Oh no, went back in. I forgot. Anyway, we're not going to go there.
yeah, you're in the wrong job, then.
But yeah, Cool Water cologne, Cool Water. It's nice. I love it, love it. Let's move on to number 3 here.
Polo. Now, Polo, you remember that bottle? I don't know if you do. It's green, had the gold top on it, I
The
think. It
green
was
with
a
the
very,
gold.
very
Yes.
distinctive scent. I mean, you either liked it or hated it, I think. I didn't wear that really either, but remember a lot of friends at the time. It was a big deal.
Yeah, the Polo. So I'll be honest with you. Can I share? Can I share a little insider BTS behind the scenes? You know what I rock right these days? I'm on that Polo Sport right now. It's a Polo Sport at the crib, man.
Yeah.
If you need some, if you're ever in Dallas and you're low, just let me know. Got you, buddy. Let's keep it moving here. Number 2.
Number 2, Obsession. Now, this was the one I did use. I remember in high school, I always used the Obsession. I think I won't unveil the number 1 yet, but between this and the number 1, I think it was the battle of the colognes, at least back in my day in the 90s. But Obsession won out for me. But I think the other one was possibly a little bit more popular. But Obsession, again, unique scent. I haven't smelt it for years, but that was my go-to back in the day.
Would you know it, like, if you were like in the
100%?
If you're in the club and you just caught a whiff, like, would you what? Like, would you?
Yeah, no, 100% I would.
They always do. Obsession.
All right.
Obsession.
I'll tell you what, a little story about Mike Falia, and I bust him up about it every time I'm around him, for the most part. But he wears something now. I'm not going to tell you what he wears, but it's something I used to wear a long time ago, and it's still really good. And every time he walks by and he has it on, I whisper it as he walks by, and he turns around like, how'd you know? But if he wants to drop in the comments what he wears now, I'll leave it up to him, or he can stay mysterious about it. But speaking about, scents coming back to you after a long, long time, I got him in a heartbeat when he walks by.
Can I guess?
Go for it.
Aqua de Chio.
No. I used to wear that one too. That's a good one. That's still a good one.
I was like,
no.
How about this one? Issey Miyake.
Ooh, that's a good one too. Nope, that's not it.
You know where I'm at my flavor palette here.
Yep.
Drew Phillips says
Noir. I don't know that one. Do you know that one? I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Drew reminds me of a guy
Drakkar Noir.
Oh, Noir.
Oh, you know what he's putting? Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Jean-Paul Gaultier. Yeah, that's what he wears.
Yeah.
And I think Drew Phillips is more of like a British Sterling Brute kind of guy, That's Drew Phillips, I think. If I had to guess.
I think Drew stay rocking that Brute. He even came out as a Brute wearer.
That's
what's up. Let's go to the number 1 90s cologne.
My opinion, it's Eternity, and that's just based on a lot of friends at the time that had it. But I'd love to hear from the group what they think. But I think Eternity was in that number 1 spot for quite a while.
Look at this. Sherelle's honoring me from our Polo Sport. Yeah, Eternity. Did they do the Whisper too? What was that?
I don't remember.
I think the Obsession was the Whisper. Honestly, I've never worn a Calvin Klein Eternity, Obsession, or CK1. I didn't wear any of those.
Yeah, I remember CK1 was the one that was for men or women, right? CK1. You could
Did it go both ways? I guess it might have, Well, they say that with these scents, though, that there really is no such thing as men's and women's. It's just marketing, Brian's not buying that. Brian's like, I'm gonna stay off the J'adore over here. This is great. Vinny says I got 2 bottles, 1 closed. Oh, this is great. Graham checking in. What's up, Graham? I don't know what's going on here, but I'm going to roll with it. Drew says, fantastic. CK1 is newer. Yeah, look how old we are. All right, let's move. This is great, Brian. This is great. This is a great little teaser. Let's hop into our second of three top fives here. We're just gonna have fun. Get in the comments here. Let us know if we're right. Top five Will Ferrell movies. Wow, he's gonna dip back in the pool here with Will Ferrell movies, and I'm not mad at it. Now, there's a lot of material here, and this could be more. This is more risky even than Kevin Costner. I feel.
You think so?
Well, it's a little more recent, so you have a lot more people who are going to have opinions about this.
I
And
think you
he's got
think it. I think you think it's recent, but gosh, he goes back a long ways. I think
not as
like
far back as
90.
Costner, though. Costner's like 88.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
JFK,
You're right.
Dances with Wolves. I mean, don't get me started. We already been through this. But Will Ferrell, let's do it. Let's hop into it. You're a brave man, Brian. Brave man. All right, Brian, the package. Let's go. Number five.
Daddy's home.
Now, this
Daddy's
isn't
home.
just what you say on a Friday.
Yeah, right.
This is a movie. I don't know this one.
You've not seen Daddy's Home. You
Tell
need to
me
go take
about
your
it.
kids and go see it. It's with Mark Wahlberg. And Mark Wahlberg divorced a wife with his kids. Will Ferrell came in and remarried, and the whole movie's about it. There's actually two of them, 1 and 2, but it's great. It's a later in life Will Ferrell movie, but it's a lot of fun. He's kind of the dorky guru, nerdy type, and Mark Wahlberg's really cool and ripped and just does everything right. And it's that chemistry moving forward. Daddy's home.
I think I have seen some of that. Okay. I'll have to add that to my list. Maybe tonight me and the wife will check that out on Netflix. So,
You gotta check it out. Especially the kids would like it too. It's a good one.
I don't know if I want to voluntarily introduce my wife to more vintage Mark Wahlberg, though. Honestly, like I got enough problems out here, Brian. You know, another scratch that. Yeah, we're getting a lot of votes for old school right now. People are streaking right now live in the quad. This is great.
Right?
All right, let's move to number 4 here. Let's see if it pops up.
Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Yeah, that was just that was a good one. That was a good one. A lot of one-liners from that. Sacha Baron Cohen was in that one.
So good in that.
Great one. I love that one.
Craig C. Riley too, right? Isn't he in that?
Yeah,
His
is
name?
it Craig C.
John
Riley?
C. Riley.
John C.
Craig
Riley.
Riley's
Yeah.
in the Relo business. He commented earlier. Craig Riley.
Yeah, no,
John
shake
C.
and bake.
Riley, right?
Shake and bake. Yep.
So my favorite meme, like you send people memes like text memes and stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite meme of all time is from that movie.
Which part?
I didn't even know it was from the movie, and I don't know how I came across it. Like I'm trying to backpedal right now, but it's I didn't know this was in the movie, and I shouldn't even say this because I'm gonna get in trouble. But it's in the movie. It's really good.
Maybe send it to me later.
I'll send it to you. Send it to you, and then we can just have a little inside joke about it. If you want to see it, just throw it in the comments, and I'll text it to you if I got your number. And it's just not work safe. I got too much to lose. Let's get. This is a great one. I'll put him in the wall like a spider monkey. I mean, he sticks his fork in his leg or whatever. And I mean, there's so much good stuff in this one here. If you ain't first, you're last, Falia. I mean, if that ain't Falia for you. Great call on this, but man, number 4, huh? All right, let's see what number 3 is.
Yeah, I mean, we're cutting them all with the hair right now, but Step Brothers, I mean, that's just that was good. That was really good. Dumb and good and funny and one-liners up the wazoo. It was good.
See, all right, I think Step Brothers is having like a crazy big moment. Like everyone was wearing the sweater memes with the sweatshirts with the Step Brothers doing the Christmas photo, or whatever, and then putting everybody's faces on them. In Dallas, we had Luca and Kyrie. You see how that ended?
Yeah.
And I feel like the the legacy of that movie and the memes of that movie were better than the actual movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of these movies, especially for me, and just your friend group and the age you are when they come out, I think every generation has different movies like this. And for me, I would say that some of his movies came out when I was at that age where you go to the movie theater, a bunch of buddies, and maybe you have a few drinks before, and everything's funny because you're watching it with your buddies. You know, if you were watching it with, I don't know, yourself, or maybe at home with, I don't know, I was watching with my wife, probably wouldn't be as funny.
That's fair.
In some cases. So yeah,
Fair.
but that Talladega Nights and Step Brothers, those are in that world.
I have Step Brothers behind Talladega Nights at home here. Mike Flea saying only number 3, Catalina wine mixer. This is great. Yeah, people. What about Old Spice? Yeah, here we go. Let's keep it moving here. Number 2.
Old school. I mean, this is arguably could be number one in some people, but not a true Will Ferrell movie. Wasn't like, I don't think necessarily the lead, but he did enough to put it on his resume. And that
You're my
one,
boy, Blue.
epic.
Like, I mean, all the
Epic.
best lines. Frank the Tank. I mean, he stole the show.
Yeah.
It was an ensemble cast for sure, but he stole
Yeah.
the show.
Yep.
PBR, and the
Trust Tree. Remember the
Streaking
Trust
in the
Tree?
box. I used the Trust Tree the other day. I mean,
You used Bed Bath and Beyond earlier too. The Bed
Yeah,
Bath and
it's-
Beyond, Home Depot.
it's part of the zeitgeist. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's this is awesome. Hit that like button. Let us know what you think about number 1.
Anchorman. I mean, one-liners. The guy's in like a whole new character. I think just a movement. Anchorman, the legend of Ron Burgundy. I mean, talk about a cast, a supporting cast, to help pull that off. But I thought that was great.
Yeah, Anchorman's really good. I love Lamp.
Yeah, I love
Lamp. I'm Ron Burgundy. Like, I mean, so good.
Ow Now Brown Cow. Ow Now Brown Cow.
Leather-bound books.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some great cologne too in that movie.
Yeah, me and Michael James go back and forth with a lot of these one-liners often. Sometimes when we're bored, sitting on a plane, coming back from some event, we live near each other. But yeah, trading Anchorman lines, I do it more than I should probably.
All right, let us know if Brian got it right, Brian got it wrong. What did he miss in the top 5? There's a lot of material there. Jackie Moon, I mean, there's some good material. Let us know if there's something that didn't make the cut that should have made the cut. Get it in there. Yeah, lots of leather-bound books, Michael James. Lots of them. Mike Flea says, have to admit, Anchorman's a legit number 1. Nice work. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's keep it moving. We got one more top 5 before we get into overrated, underrated. This is going to be a long show. We're doing like kind of a Joe Rogan length episode today. I'm inspired by Brian's haircut. Let's go here. Top 5 Costco finds. I'll be honest with you. I do not have a Costco membership. Samara's looking at me like I'm crazy. I don't have a Costco membership, but I was in Costco yesterday.
Really? I'm infatuated with Costco. It's a running joke with my friend group, my work friends, my family. I love Costco. I love everything about them.
Well, let's talk about your top 5 things to get at Costco.
Let's do it.
Number 5.
You got to go with the hot dog. I mean, it hasn't changed prices, and what comes with a soda. I mean, you got to go with that quarter-pound hot dog.
Or is it just the price?
No, it's better than other hot dogs. It's all beef hot dog. It's got a sesame seed bun. You can get whatever you want on it. And then, like I said, it comes with a soda. $1.25, $1.50. So, yeah, hot dog's number 1. It's got to be.
All right, hot dog it is. All right, let's keep it moving. Number 4.
It's the hot dog, but just a step above. It's the rotisserie chicken. You're talking $5. You get like a, I don't know.
Can't you get a chicken in like a Kroger or any kind of like grocery store sells those rotisserie chickens?
No, not like Costco's. Costco's is much bigger. It's much cheaper, and you're watching them take it off the oven right then and putting it in in a container for you. It's and you can do anything with it. You can shred it, make sandwiches out of it, throw it in soups. You could put it in salads, make enchiladas. I mean, do whatever you want with it. No way. Doesn't compare.
My favorite thing to do with a rotisserie chicken is chicken salad. I love
Yeah.
chicken salad.
Yep.
We got people getting in here loving the rotisserie chicken here. We got $4.99. Vinny saying Michael James rotisserie chicken is one of Brian's favorite things on the planet. You eat the skin too? Like, do you eat the skin separate, or you try to keep it on the meat? What do you do with the skin?
Nah, I might throw the skin down and let my dogs grab that. But no, I don't normally eat the skin. No, not normally.
Yes, been coming in here. Buffalo chicken dip. I kind of like that use. You ever do that with a rotisserie chicken from Costco?
Absolutely. In fact, we did it for the Super Bowl, and it's simple, easy, crowd favorite.
Hit that like button and tell Brian what he can do with his rotisserie chicken. All right, let's get in here.
Wow.
Next one up.
Meat
seafood.
Yeah, I like to barbecue. I do a lot of outdoor cooking, and some of the quality meat, whether you're getting beef, you're getting seafood. Chilean sea bass at Costco is unbelievable. But yeah, you got to get your meat. I get my meat from Costco and love it, whether it's pork, ribs, spare ribs, shoulders.
I got to ask you though, as a non-Costco member, and I'm coming around. I'm close. I was like this close yesterday. If it wasn't like 7 degrees out, I would have done it. But like, let me ask you, don't you get too much? Like how much Chilean sea bass do you need?
Well, yeah, it's not cheap. It's very good quality, but it's
so
not
we get
necessarily
$1.50
cheap.
hot dog, we get a $4.99 chicken, and then we $500 in sea bass.
Yeah, it's both ends of the spectrum. I mean, we're not eating sea bass every night by any means, but no, they've got it all, and some of that better quality stuff is worth it. Still good price for the quality, but yeah, I'm not buying 20 pounds of Chilean sea bass.
Hit that like button. Throw in the comments the best thing you bought at Costco in the last year. I want to know. Someone gifted me at the holidays. You know what they sent me to my house? My wife was pissed. They sent me one of those jamons.
Yeah.
Full. You can't even see how big. This thing was legitimately this big.
Yeah.
It was a leg of ham.
Yep.
Wrapped and aged and smoked with a Serrano ham, and it came with a stand.
Yep, I've seen them there.
Stand, and it came with a long, thin knife, and it stunk. It smelled like a locker room, and you're supposed to display this thing. You're supposed to put it out, and they put a cover. They gave me a cover with it, and it was just like this flimsy, like cloth paper, and you just like drape it over, like you don't even, and you just leave it on the counter until. Like we left it there, we did it for like 2 weeks. And my wife just like one day I came home and it wasn't there anymore. What happened to the ham? She just chucked the whole thing.
A little ripe. It was ripe. It was a ripe ham.
You're supposed to leave it out for like months. You can leave it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Number 2.
I mean, for your liquor enthusiast, liquor, pretty good deals at Costco on all things liquor.
Well, I don't really drink, but I've heard that this is a thing.
I happen to know that you do drink, or you did drink, because I've got photos to prove it. But
listen, I don't drink. Maybe yesterday, but I don't drink.
Got it. Yeah. No, they got some good stuff at Costco. Some really cool, unique things. Big, huge bottles that you won't run out of, and again, really good prices, especially with their own brands.
All right, I lied. I do drink. So I was at Costco yesterday, and this is the only thing I know that I can go to Costco and buy without a membership is liquor.
Without a membership?
You can buy liquor without a membership at Costco. And so I go in, and because I heard that they had the double oak, Woodford Reserve double oak, and they didn't have it. But I did pick up some Old Forester 1920. They're out of the 24. And I did pick up some Michter's bourbon barrel strength or something like that, and they were fantastic. So highly recommend that on a Wednesday, a little Costco liquor run. So Yeah. What's favorite liquor to buy from Costco, Brian?
Favorite. I would
Bourbon,
say
Tito's. What are you sipping on?
bought them most often. They have their own Irish whiskey that I think is really, really good. That's probably the one
Is this
I
like the
buy the
Kirkland's
most.
brand?
Yeah, it's Kirkland's brand of Irish whiskey that I think is really good.
Yeah, I hear those Kirkland brands are just like the bomb. Like
Yeah.
honestly, the best use of a decanter. You take that Kirkland's home, you throw it in a decanter. Nobody's knows nothing. You know what I mean? Just
Nobody knows nothing. It's a
nobody knows nothing.
fugazi.
Fugazi. Jack Taylor says back in college, I know a lot of people bought the Kirkland vodkas. It was the same thing as the top shelf for bottom price.
For bottom price.
Love it.
Yeah, so rumor is that Kirkland has a version of Grey Goose in their Kirkland bottle. They have 3 or 4 different vodkas, so you gotta know which one it is. It's I think the taller one that has some black on the bottle, but yeah, they partner with a lot of the other distributors with everything: food, laundry detergent, liquor, and rebrand it in their stuff. So if you can figure out what's what, you'll save some money.
All right, here. Let's see. I lost my mic here, my earbuds here. This is great. Love it. We got people checking in the comments. Mike Falia says he bought his washer and dryer there. Got a screaming deal. But my best purchase is JoJo's chocolates. You eat a lot of JoJo's chocolates?
I haven't had those, but what did he say he bought there before that? I bought flooring. I actually did flooring in my home about 6 months ago. Refloored the whole home with flooring from Costco. I've bought in sheds from Costco.
Hold on.
What we're gonna
One
do with
second
number
here.
one?
I'm trying to get the sound on my earbuds here. It's Samara. I got no sound. Oh man! Somebody called me from New Jersey. It threw me off.
Go to number one. Go to number one.
Can you hear me, Brian?
I got you.
Tamara says my Great Dane only eats Kirkland hot dog food. That's a lot of dog food. That's great. Yep, I got no sound. True Phillips says number one, headphones. All right. Bada bing.
Bada
Do we have
bing.
one of these maybe? Wired? No. Anyway. That's great. That's funny. Cool. Oh, he said bought my neighbor the wood for a reserve double oak. Yeah, nice. The double oak's the best one. The double's crazy though, Mike. You heard about that? Yeah, let's do that. Plug that in there. All right, we're gonna get to number one here. 1 second. I'm getting earphones here. Look at that. Can I have this? Thank you. All right, let's see what we can do here. Can you hear me, Brian?
I got you.
Nope. All right.
I got you.
Nope, that didn't work either. Nope. Hey, plug it, Samara. Plug it into yours. Yeah, quickly. Thank you. There you go. Awesome. All right. We're going to get this figured out. There we go. All right. Give me number one, Samara.
Vacations.
Vacations. At Costco?
Yeah, they have some
gosh.
killer deals on vacations. Killer deals on vacations based on where you're at. Out here, there's a lot of good stuff to Hawaii, the Caribbean, Mexico. But they
All
have
from
some
Costco?
really good deals. Oh, yeah. They do it
Hawaii,
right.
Caribbean, Mexico. What is it like? Somebody sitting there with like a stand, like they just like shucking these things by the door. Like how is this working even?
Normally, no. Normally, you go on their website and you find out where you want to go, and it's usually a lot of all-inclusive stuff. Includes rental cars. We've traveled with them quite a bit, and it's just a very seamless experience. You usually get some kind of perks credit, whether it's gift cards to use at the store or, like I said, rental cars for the week. It's a good program, good process.
Okay. I'm not following. So you go to Costco.com and buy this stuff?
Yeah, typically. I mean, I think they got a kiosk on your way out of many of the Costco's where you can look and see. But yeah, you go to Costco.com, search vacations, and there's just a lot of them will come up. Check it out. It's really cool.
And I need a membership to buy these, or can I buy
I
them
think
without?
you do need a membership. Yeah. I think you get a membership for $60 for the year. If you want, I'll go halves with you on one just so you
I
can
feel
experience it.
just so I can experience. You go halvesies with me. We'd be like
Yeah.
we'd each have our. We could go together maybe. When next time I
Yeah.
come up to the Northwest, we can.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. I'll go half on a Costco membership with you. All right. Vacations, and so these are all like all inclusive. Like you don't just like you're not going to like ERC in Salt Lake and you're like looking up hotels on Costco.com, are you? Or are you? Or is it just like
No.
destination, like all
No,
inclusive?
it's certain destinations that they have already picked out and secured, and if you want in, you go tap that one. But it's usually like I said, they have some one-off ones, Fiji here and there, but always something going to Mexico, always something usually in the Caribbean, always something to Hawaii, and some of those types of destinations. Cruises sometimes. There's all kinds of stuff.
Drew's asking if we're going halvesies on the membership or the vacay.
It would be the membership.
Don't
Now,
rule it out.
if you and Drew want to work something out on the vacay, then yeah, I welcome that, and I think he should do it. But
It's
no,
like
I'm talking. Yeah, I was
maybe
talking
the
about
three
that.
of us, maybe the three of us and a two queen at Cozumel or something like that. Anyway, we'll take that offline. All right, this is awesome. I did not know they even did vacations. Mobility vacation. Let's get a group. Hey, you know what? I'm going to pitch you something, right? Since we got everybody here, hit that like button. Tell me what you think. Get in the comments right now. A global mobility Glomo cruise. We bring all our corporate friends. We have some learning. And we do like a little shortsy, like a little like 3-day 2-night, little weekend action.
I mean, it would be. I think it would for those who actually bought the ticket and went. It would be a debauchery fest, and it would be like a Ensenada Cozumel cruise, like you said, 2 nights, 3 nights. It would
Out of
be. It
Houston,
would be nuts.
you
Yeah.
hit the Yucatan a little bit, you know, go around. I
Yep.
like how you go to the Reload Direct forum. You're like, oh, a lot of learning, and I pitch a cruise, and all no learning. All of a sudden, learning's out the window.
Well, it's not so much you. It's that 3-day cruise vibe. I've been on them before. It's not the 7, the 10, the 15-day, where you're chilling and relaxing. It's like 2, 3-day cruises. I think you kind of know what you're getting into there. So you got to embrace it.
Look at this. Drew says, which port? We going through the Gulf of America? Oh my gosh, silly guy. All right, so I'm hearing a maybe. It's a strong maybe out of Bryan. I heard First Tech sponsoring. This is great. I love it. This is fantastic.
Right.
All right, let's keep it moving here because I know we're late. I know Brian's got to go name a conference here soon. He's got to get on a council call, but we got overrated, underrated to do, and you've got some killers here, so we're gonna do them. Okay, let's get into it. Overrated, underrated. Now, Brian, this segment on the show was not around when you were on the show last time. Okay, do you know how to play the game?
I think it's pretty clear cut. You call it out, and I let you know if I think it's overrated or underrated.
And then I tell you if you're right.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Yeah.
There's a twist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it. Overrated, underrated. First one up, Beyonce.
Overrated.
Wow. I got to applaud your bravery, right? You're not
Yeah.
afraid of the Beehive. You're not afraid of Adrian's wife. You're
No.
not afraid of nothing, are you, Brian?
I wouldn't say nothing, but I'm not Yeah, overrated.
Overrated. Yeah, we had this conversation quite a bit here in the office. I went to a Beyonce concert last year. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did not know half the songs. I consider myself a Beyonce fan is strong. Fan is strong. I agree. She is overrated.
I think, let me go one step. Let me be a little bit more granular. I think she's very talented at everything she does. I think when it comes to Beyonce and country music, she's definitely overrated.
Brian, that's where you're wrong. That's her best stuff.
Nah,
That's what's
you got,
crazy about it is that's her best stuff is the country stuff.
I know what you're doing right
And it's
now.
all covers. That's the funny
Yeah,
thing too. It's all like
no,
Dolly Parton covers and like I don't
overrated.
know. All right, overrated. Well, we agree. You know, it's funny. It's funny. It's like doing a math problem in school, and you got to show your work, and we got the answer differently, but we both agree. You know, yeah, overrated. All right, 1 point for Brian. Let's keep it moving here. Country music, overrated or underrated? Get in the comments too. Let Brian know if he's right or wrong here. We'll have 2 votes here.
Definitely underrated, especially lately. Underrated country music.
Underrated. Underrated. As long as it's not Beyonce. This is what we're saying. Okay. Okay. Jill's agreeing, by the way, with the Beyonce take. People are loving the the candor, the radical candor from Bryan Rivers. But they want to know what you think about Taylor Swift, overrated, underrated.
I think she's. Uh, what are we talking about? Taylor Swift, the business enterprise, or Taylor Swift, the songwriter? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Well, you know, it's funny. You didn't ask me the same clarifying question for Beyonce. And for me, Beyonce as a business person, I love Beyonce as a business person. The music I just think is mad. So I'll break it down for me. Overrated, underrated. Taylor Swift as an artist.
As an artist, go back a little bit to her song. Well, she writes everything, right? So I would say from an artist perspective, I can make a case that she is. I'm sticking with overrated.
It's
Overrated.
impossible to say
Yeah,
underrated. That the problem with Tay Tay is you can't. There's no room
yeah, yeah. She's
for
overrated.
underrated.
Yeah, she's huge.
She's Elvis big. You know,
Yeah,
she's you can't. She's
she influenced.
Beatles.
Yeah, she's very. She has a strong pull. She's got a huge following in business and with music. So yeah, I'm going overrated Taylor Swift. Thanks, Joe.
Taylor Swift as a business person. Overrated, underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah,
Underrated. She's got it down. She's got it down. I mean,
she got
she's
to figure
got
it out.
yeah.
Yeah, she really does. I love the way she's built community too. It's pretty wild. Country music underrated for sure. Mike saying some great stories being told there, and you can understand the lyrics. Oh wow, we're taking shots out here. This is great. I love it. I love it. You don't got to be at the bar to take shots. I love it. Rob Zeitz, we don't normally take requests during this segment, but you know what? We're gonna do it today. Rob Zeitz says Elvis overrated, underrated.
I think for today's generations, I think that he is underrated. I think he was really good at a lot of different things. He was like a Taylor Swift, right? Back in the day, doing everything from movies and dancing and singing and writing and all that kind of stuff. He sold gospel albums and did the rock and roll stuff. I think he did have some country-ish stuff as well, but I think overall, pretty talented guy that had a major influence on history, especially
Yeah.
musical history here in the U.S.
Yeah, it's super
world.
easy to forget how the impact that he had. Yeah, for sure. All right, you're doing really well, Brian. You're doing really well. I think you got. Oh, I didn't tell you if you were right about country music. Overrated, underrated. You said underrated. I don't know. I don't think it's possible for country music to be underrated right now. It's so hot. It's been hot for so long. It's probably the biggest selling genre in the United States right now. It's so pervasive that you have, rap acts going into country now, rock acts going into country. I don't see how it could possibly be underrated. So
Yeah, and let me clarify. When I made that decision, I'll just caveat this with I'm not a big fan of the last 15, 20 years of country music. That doesn't pull at my heartstrings. I like the stuff from beyond that, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, and
40s,
I think
30s.
that stuff, and I think that's kind of maybe what Mike was referring to. Some of the storytelling, the ballads, the simpleness of the music back then. I think that's underrated today.
Hit that like button, get in the comments, let us know what you think. Brian, do you remember that country bar we went to in Dallas? Down in Deep Ellum? Adair Saloon? Oh,
Mm-mm.
you were enjoying yourself. I'll send you a picture.
Is
We had a great time. We had a lovely time.
that
It's
where
a
we
great
had
place.
the
It's a
ramen
great.
bowls?
No, the ramen was afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
But my dad used to go to that place back in the 70s, and he took my grandmother there, and she was dancing on the table, and to this day there's a sign behind the bar that says no dancing on the tables. Yeah,
That's
that's Granby
awesome.
for you. All right, you're let's see here. I think you're 2-1 right now. Let's keep it moving here. Overrated, underrated. Girl Scout cookies.
Overrated.
Wow. It's funny.
Overrated.
We had Rachel Longo on Tuesday. Somebody tagged Rachel Longo. We had Rachel Longo on Tuesday, and she says she buys about 30 boxes of Girl Scout cookies a year.
I believe in buying them and supporting them because I think it's a great cause.
Just don't
And I
want to eat
love.
them.
I think that they're all these
What
different
what do
flavors
you
they
make a
try and
little
come out
sandwich
with.
with the rotisserie chicken skin and the thin
Right,
mints and throw it on the floor for the dog? Like, what are you doing with all these Girl Scout cookies?
right. Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah. What's the is there a most overrated Girl Scout cookie out there?
I
One of
think
the
all the new ones are overrated. If I had to pick a
thin
favorite, I think
mints,
just the standard shortbread ones are pretty good. They got with the peanut butter. I like the old school ones.
Trey Forest. What about thin mints?
Yeah, they're all right. I think they're better if you put them in the freezer. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, but they're
yeah.
good. They're good.
Nice, nice. All right. Yeah, Girl Scout cookies are overrated. It's like I get guilted into buying these cookies. And maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when the cookie market wasn't so saturated, like, yeah, these are hot to trot. I'm down. Like, thank you for being there. But nowadays, I'm guilted in. The boxes get smaller and smaller. The flavors are just more kind of watered down. I'm just not. I'm not feeling it. Let's see here. Jillian's bought 12 boxes in the last few weeks. I haven't seen Nan Cookie in this office, Jillian. Okay, so you tell me you sitting on 12 boxes of Girl Scout cookies and you bring in no boxes of Girl Scout cookies, Jillian. I'll remember that. I'll remember that come Christmas bonuses. I'll remember that. All right, let's keep it moving here. Another point for Brian. Brian's 3-1. Hey, Brian, manual transmissions, overrated, underrated.
Stick shifts. I don't think a lot of folks, well, younger than me, anyways, my kids, they're not out there anymore. But getting in behind the wheel of a good stick shift, something that's got a little pep behind it, I think it's fun to drive. I think they're underrated. I understand why we don't see them as much anymore, but I miss them.
4 on the floor, 3 in the tree. What? When's the last time you owned a stick shift, Brian?
I would say about 14 years ago, I had a little old school Toyota pickup,
Okay.
like Michael J. Fox had in Back to the Future. I had that when I was 16. I bought it again, had it for a few years just for fun back then, and then no, nothing since then.
I worked with a guy named John Rainwater when I was at Budget Rent a Car in the call center 30 years ago. And I don't know if you remember these commercials, but Toyota used to have these commercials of these people on the commercial who've had their Toyota and have like 300, 400,000 miles on it. He was in one of those commercials with his Toyota pickup truck. Yeah, like 350,000 miles on
I
this
remember
thing.
those commercials. Yeah.
Yeah, those things run forever, don't they?
They had the little 22R motor in them, and they went forever if you took care of them.
Yeah, super cool. All right, manual transmission. I'll be honest with you, I can't drive a stick. I can't drive a stick. I learned once. I had a guy in college, a roommate of mine. He was delivering pizzas. He couldn't make it. He had an art final. I said, "I'll deliver pizzas for you. Can I keep the tips?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Cover for me." He said, "Here, take my Celica." The Celica had a stick. I was like, "What do I do with this?" He took me to an elementary school parking lot. He taught me how to drive a stick in like 20 minutes. I'm driving around Albany, New York, with all the hills and everything with this stick. I had no GPS. I got no maps. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how to drive a stick. I'm on a hill. I'm at the light. I try to pop it in first. I roll backwards. I almost hit a car. It was an absolute disaster. That was the last time I drove a stick shift.
Yep, I get it.
All
I
right, you know
can drive a
what?
stick. It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, like I went to Europe and I had to get an automatic. They're hard to find. I don't know. Manual transmission's overrated. I don't see the point. What are we doing here? Why don't we just Fred Flintstone the thing around? You know? All right, let's keep it moving here. Next one up, Brock Purdy, the pride of Iowa State.
I don't feel like the guy gets any love. I think he's underrated. I think he's got a very good football acumen at his position, and I think we're going to see that in the years to come. So underrated Brock Purdy.
You know, he was underrated, and then I think he was kind of washed this year. What happened to him this year? Wasn't he kind of washed? Didn't he
I
kind of
think the
take a?
whole team was washed. We had like I think 12 starters out at one point. So yeah, and some of them are really good players. So on offense and on defense. So I think that's the biggest problem he had this year was never being able to kind of get on the field with a full squad. But no, I think he's underrated. I think we're going to see that in the coming years.
Yeah, Sherelle loves stick shifts. Adrian says Purdy's overrated. Adrian's correct. Brock Purdy is supposed to sign a $275 million deal, making him the second highest paid quarterback in the league, ahead of Burrow and Trevor Lawrence. That to me seems a little rich, my friend.
Does seem rich, but more power to him, right?
I don't even know if he could fit that whole check in the First Tech Federal Credit Union. I don't. That's a lot of cash, man. I mean, would you even open a bank account for somebody that have $275 million direct deposit? I mean, that is a big number.
I would.
I,
I'd open it up for him.
that'd be a nice little day, huh? Anyway,
Yep.
Brock Purdy. I mean, I like the guy. I think he's great. I think he's been underrated for a long time. But man, they're about to make him the second highest paid quarterback in the league, and that just seems like a bit much for me. I gotta say overrated at this point, Brian. Yeah, you started off real hot, Brian. Real hot, real hot. Let's see.
Compare what that guy did in the last couple years on the salary he's on. Then
Oh,
answer the question.
he way outperformed his contract,
Right.
100%. I mean, Dak level overperformance there. Hey, we got three more we got to get through here. Let's make it happen. Lightning round. Next one up. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Overrated, underrated.
Overrated.
Why?
Not a fan.
Where'd the beef come from? Just out of nowhere, just throwing shots at the
No,
Red Hot Chili
no,
Peppers.
no. I've thought this way for a long time.
Kind of
I know
fun
they have some
games.
massive long term fans that love everything, and I think they're overrated.
I respect the courage. I applaud the courage. I give you that. You know what? That's the square in the middle of the bingo card. You got it. Let's go. Next one up. Blue cheese.
Underrated. Underrated.
Are we talking
People
about the
need to.
cheese or the dressing?
We're talking about blue cheese. It can be in a dressing. It could be, put on top of a filet mignon or ribeye. Blue cheese is really really good. I'm a big fan of it, and I think a lot of people are not. So I think it's underrated. People need to try more high quality. In fact, go to Costco, get yourself some blue cheese. Throw it in a salad. Throw it in a dressing. Throw it on finish it off at the top of a ribeye after you pull it off the grill. Go check it out. Blue cheese.
You are mounting an epic comeback right now, Brian. This is an amazing take. You are so on point here. Blue cheese gets way too much disrespect out here in these streets. I tell you what, blue cheese dressing, a homemade blue cheese dressing, made out of buttermilk, little squeeze of lemon, dash of Worcestershire, little garlic powder in there. Holy moly, that is the jam. Blue cheese is a phenomenal cheese, and I extend that to the Gorgonzola. phenomenal. I'll eat it plain. Give me one of those little knives. Let me open up my First Tech Federal Credit Union knife set. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And let me pull out the little curvy knife and I'll pop me off one of those. I'll turn it over, I'll stick it, and I'll pop it right in my face. That's how much I love a good blue cheese. I'm with you, Bryan. 100%. Man, you know what? The last two, you're 2 for 2 here. You're mounting a tremendous comeback. Let's finish strong here. Last one up. LED Christmas lights, overrated or underrated?
I think they're overrated. I like old school. I like the old school lights. Now, some of the LEDs now they've manufactured them so they do look like the old school colors, but those like neon purple and neon blues and those weird colors, those are not Christmas colors to me. So I think for the most part, I'll say even now they're overrated.
So your whole stance is like you don't like that bright white? Is that it?
No,
Like that
it's
real
not
bright
nostalgic.
white? Like
It's not nostalgic to me.
I'm an off-white Christmas lights person. Like I'm a white lights person, first of all. Generally speaking, I don't hate on the colors, but like I mean, I agree with you. Like, you know, let's keep it red, green, whatever. But like I like the white ones, real classic, with the off-white, the bright white ones, or God forbid you get somebody that put up a strand of the off-whites and then they go back to Home Depot and they grab the wrong ones and they put the bright whites next to it. That irks me. I gotta be honest with you.
Yep, same.
I'd call the moving truck at that point. I'd just say, get me out of here. I can't be here anymore. So is this because you like to change the bulbs? You like to replace the bulbs though? Because don't the
Has
bulbs
nothing to
burn
do
out
with
more
that.
than the
No.
traditionals?
Yeah, I think they might. But it's Christmas. You're only putting these up for a few weeks, usually, maybe a month. And
Maybe
I want it
yes.
to remind me of Christmas from back in the day when I was a kid.
When do you take your tree down, Bryan?
Usually right after New Year's.
Oh my gosh. All right. Cool. Well, that's a whole other show. Yo, this has been a lot of fun. I'm going to give you a point on that last one. I feel like it's been kind of hard. I'm going to give you that one. Let's see here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 7. We don't normally do a 7 banger, so 5 out of 7 is pretty good. Really nicely done, Bryan. You hung in there. It's a long show. You showed a lot of stamina. I appreciate it. I respect it. You want to leave people maybe with a final word? This has been a lot of fun.
I think my final word is to thank you for having this platform and for making it fun, bringing me on. I've done this now, I think, twice with you. It's always a good time, and I appreciate the audience that you reach. And folks have questions for me or what we do, what I do, please reach out.
There is a question, actually. Drew wants to know, when do you take the blow-up Christmas bass boat down from the front yard?
It's also right after New Year's.
Well, that was all our questions for today. Bryan Rivers, Bryan Rivers, everybody. Bryan, always a pleasure, man. I always have so much fun with you, dude. You're such a great sport, and
appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.